Hey everybody, this is Aristotle and we are back with another video, and today we are going to be doing an amethyst farm. So are you ready? Let's do this. Okay, so amethysts form in geodes and geodes only, and these form underground. They're going to be kind of a round shape. They're going to have a shell of smooth basalt and then calcite and then amethyst crystals. You never know what you're going to find when you get inside one because they come in different sizes as well as different numbers of budding crystals. And these are the budding crystals. So you'll notice when I break that crystal there, you see the X's on the sides of those amethyst blocks right there? Those are budding crystals. And if you wait long enough, crystals will start to grow from all 6 sides of the block, just like this and this. You can harvest the crystals with Silk Touch, at which point you will get amethyst buds, and they will be of the same size that you harvested them. So if you wanted something small, you would pickaxe that one. If you wanted a big one, you could pickaxe that one. If you use Fortune, you're going to get amethyst crystals. Combined will form amethyst blocks. Now, amethyst farms are a little tricky because you never have the same layout of budding crystals all the way around. So I've come up with a little simpler method that will be a little easier to build, or at least deal with the situation. Now, disclaimer time. If you're going to want to collect every possible crystal out of this, what you're going to have to do is use the single standard piston method, at which point you have each budding block surrounded on all sides by single pistons, and then lay out a system of hoppers underneath. We're not going to be doing that today because we want most of the crystals, and we want it to be easy, and we want it to be done at the push of a button. All right, so here's what you're going to need to build this farm. You're going to need at least 8 sticky pistons. You're going to need a stack and a half of slime blocks. You're going to need a stack of redstone dust, a stack of building blocks, 2 water buckets. You can create an infinite source, or you can bring 4 water buckets and get the job done. 2 hoppers, 4 single chests, lots and lots of torches, and of course a button, a lever, or a redstone torch, something to activate the system. The torches are necessary because amethyst crystals and budding crystals and amethyst blocks only have a blast resistance of 1.5, which means if a creeper goes off in here while you're working, you're going to lose a lot of stuff. So what we are going to be looking for in this one here is large clusters of crystals close to each other. So you see we have a few down here by the floor along this side, but we're pretty empty over here. We have those 2 over there, and again up at the top. So it seems to be, if I look at this way, about like so, we can get and kind of squeeze into the screen here. We can see plenty of crystals in this direction, whereas if I turn it this way, not so much. So let's see about getting all of these. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is creating a 9x9 square on the ground, and it looks like I'm going to be starting it from this corner right here. So I'm going to go, counting this block as 1, I'm going to go 9 that way, and then 9 that way, and then dig it down by 2 as a full square, just like this. Okay, so just to demonstrate, I put a row of torches right alongside the thing. This is my 9x9 square. So now what I'm going to do is, working from the bottom, I'm just going to take out everything except for the crystals with the X's on them. Those are going to stay. So let me get that done and I will show you what that looks like. So sometimes it's a little hard to tell, but going up in this 9x9 by 3 blocks, I've left only the crystals that grow the buds. Those are the ones with the X's. Now I'm going to just keep going up until I get at least a couple blocks above the ceiling. All right, so this is basically what we have, a 9x9 by, oh, I don't know, I probably went up 15 here or so. Okay, so I'm going to pick one wall that I'm happy kind of pushing into of this 9x9 section, which for me, it's going to be this one. And I'm going to push it back 3 blocks total and deep, all the way up just to match everything. Okay, now that I got that 3 blocks pushed back, what I'm going to do with the other sides is fill them in so they're nice and flat and even right up to the edge of my 9x9. When I come across crystals like this, I'm just going to knock off the buds and then block in the crystal. I'm not going to destroy the extra crystal. Maybe later on when we come up with a better farm that's more efficient, we can put it to good use. Same thing over here. I'm going to knock the buds off. I am going to leave that one there. And I'm just going to fill this in so it's a nice flat wall. And again, I said a block or a stack of building blocks for this farm. It really depends upon what size of geode you get is really going to determine how many blocks you use. But from pushing out the one side, you should have plenty of material to complete this. Now, if you need to create a door or something back in this 3-block section that we pushed out, that's where you can kind of create a way out or back into the caves where your geode is. Now, in this 9x9 section, we are going to dig it down just one extra block here, all the way around and in the middle. Don't forget to keep everything lit up. Okay, so now we need to find the center of this 9x9 section. So one of the ways you can do that is count from the side, go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then count towards the center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right there. And that should be our center block. And to test it, just grab your water buckets and put one water bucket in each corner, just like this. And that will create everything flowing down into that one center space. Now come up to the far edge of the 3-block section that you didn't dig down. And in this case, go down 1, 2, 3, 4, and then start digging towards the center. Okay, once we find that center block though, what we're going to want to do is just widen this up a little bit here so we have a little room to wiggle. But just remember, you got water right above you, so you don't want to pop those blocks. Lay down 2 chests, 2 more, just like that. You can stagger them or whatever. Pop in a hopper, and this will give you way more storage than you're going to need. Run back up to the top of the center block, look down it, see the chest, and then point a hopper directly into it, and you're good to go. That's your whole collection system. Now, since most of my crystals seem to be kind of over towards this side of the farm, and one of the easiest ways you can kind of get a feel for it is by just going right above that center block and checking it out. And we seem to have this nice dense section of crystals right here. So this is actually pretty good. So what we're going to want to do is we need to start the puzzle section of this one. And this is how we do it. You can use your building blocks or temporary blocks. I'm going to start up a little high here and offset by a little. I'm going to kind of pick a level of where I want my piston. So I want my piston right back against that block just like this. Now grabbing my slime blocks, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around these crystals and I'm going to put slime blocks so that when the piston extends, it's going to knock crystals or buds off of the blocks. But you have to keep a count. Pistons can only push 12 blocks at a time, so that's the maximum number of slime blocks you can put on. So if we go 1, 2, and then I say 3, 4 like this to catch on the edge, slime blocks do not stick to amethyst budding blocks. They do stick to regular amethyst blocks though, just not the budding kind. And I can show you with my button right here. So if you watch in the right hand part of the screen there, you'll see the slime blocks move forward, break the crystals, they shoot them across the room and then down into the collection system. Now obviously it didn't break the ones on the front here. So let's finish up this piston and then we'll move on to some others. So this is block number 5, number 6 will catch this one. We can cut to the inside here. 7, which will catch that crystal right there. We can go 8, which will catch this crystal right here. 9 will catch that one. 10 will crush this one and just drop it straight down. Now I got 2 more blocks I can fit onto this one, so there's a couple ways we could go. I'm going to pop one right here for the crystal that's going to grow out of that block. And then we can catch one more right there for there. So that's 12. So we want to test it real quick utilizing our button and then back through. Okay, so that one definitely works. Okay, so I'm going to pop in a second piston here And you'll notice I have it kind of facing the same way. So again, tracking my blocks, I'm going to go 1, 2. So if there's a crystal growing right there, it'll grab that one. 3 right there, it shouldn't come into contact with that guy because they should be fired at the same time. So it shouldn't cause any trouble, but you definitely don't want them right up next to each other. And that's why we're going to test fire everything before we're done. But this one will smash into there. 4, 5 will catch the side here. 6 will get the front of that one. 7, 8 will get the top. 9 and 10 will get any crystal growing from right here. And 11 and 12 will get that one right there. So grabbing our button, we're going to give this guy a test. Okay, seems like everything's good. Now, if you make a mistake and you accidentally put a slime block directly up against one of these and try and push it, it will break the block and the block will disintegrate and you will lose it forever. All right, so that's 2 pistons in. Let's see if we can get a few more here. All right, so in this case, I am going to set a piston pointed down, and I am going to pop a block right on the side. The whole idea, you notice I have all my blocks coming off my pistons in the kind of the same direction, all pointed towards this part here. And so for this guy, we're going to kind of come through and just try and get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, just kind of adding things in as best we can, making certain they have the clearest path possible to the floor. So this one's going to be pushing down, so I'm going to go 7, 8 for this one. 9 will get that one. 10 will get that one. But I can do 11, and let's see, can I sneak in one more? Oh yeah, right here. 12, which will get that face right there. All right, we're going to use our button, and we're going to test fire again. And then back up, and we seem to be good right there. Left a little light just so nothing could spawn in on the top. And besides, we're not going to be able to harvest that one anyways. Okay, in this case, I'm going to come out a little bit away from the wall. And then I'm going to pop a piston right here. Actually, I'm going to drop that back a little bit. We're going to pop it right there. Now, I plan on putting a slime block and knocking this one off. So I'm definitely going to want to clear some space right there in that wall. So here we go again. 1, and then 2. It'll have a free path. Remember, it doesn't stick to this block, but it will stick to the blocks on the side. So you got to watch that. So that's 2, and then 3, we'll get that one. 4, 5, 6, we'll definitely take care of that one. I'm going to chop out these again. 7, so that'll travel back and knock that guy off. It should blast it across this back wall where it can fall in. So that's kind of the point of using slime blocks. Besides the point that they don't stick to it, they will kind of throw and thrust the items off in that direction. And now I've lost count. 9, let's see. 10, we'll get the block on the top there, or get the shard that's coming off there. And 11 will go right there. And sometimes you just stop at 11 because throwing on that extra one just won't do anything. Grab your button and then give it a test. Now, if you see anything kind of bunched up, see this shard right here? So we did knock it off, but it probably came from right there. But it didn't go flying for some reason. And so what we can do is we can ask ourselves, well, do we want to keep trying that one, or do we want to take those blocks and focus them more on shards that we can get to? We are only at 11, so let me do this right here and put one more right there, and that should get the top of that one. One of the other things to remember too is that you can fit pistons in close to other pistons that you have. So like I'm going to be running redstone to these, so it's not that big of a deal, but I can easily get to this side of this face here. But again, I also have to watch out for rubbing up against this guy. So you have to kind of weigh your options as to what's going to work best for you. All right, so every once in a while, you're going to make yourself a mistake and you're going to hit a button and something's not going to move. So what you will need to do is pay attention as to where these blocks are getting stuck. And there it is right there. It's trying to move the whole wall. See that I had that one right up against that one. So make certain to just clear out a little room. Go back to your button and try it again. There we go. All right, once you feel you're at a good point, what we need to do is kind of bring all of these blocks together. So what we're going to do here is just create a little stair step down. Careful to avoid the slime blocks. So we definitely do not want to come into contact with those. And in some cases, you might have to kind of go around like this. And in this case, we're going to take this button and we're going to set it on the side here. This should be a button I should be able to reach from the floor. Yes, I can reach it from the floor. Redstone, and you just pop it on all of your blocks. You don't put it on the pistons, just the blocks leading up to them. Okay, we're going to test, and it looks like we did okay there on those two. Now we're going to bring in these two into the mix as well. So it's going to be a little finagling and stair stepping up just like this. Actually, we can do it from right there. And then using this block, avoiding those blocks. There we go, just like this. And then we can tie these in just by adding our redstone all the way down. Again, not on the pistons, just on the blocks like this. Now, if you're going to be going over 14 blocks long, then you're going to want to bring a repeater, but it's usually pretty easy to get everybody to go. So we've got full retraction. We're looking good. We got lots of clean sides in there. Now, not everything was fully grown, so what we're going to do is come down to the bottom here. We got 8 shards. We're going to take those out. I'm going to set my tick speed up real high, and we're going to let these all grow in. So one thing to note, now that they are all grown in, if you try and harvest a bud that's only half grown, you won't get anything. It needs to be a full grown bud. So putting this block or putting this farm on a timer is definitely not recommended. I tried a 1-day timer and a 2-day timer on my first versions of this, and I always got less than a full harvest. So keeping this manual is probably the best way to go. All right, so now that they're all fully grown, let's hit the button and see what we get. Okay, so we got over a stack. And that was, now my tick speed is super high, so just remember that. These take a long time to grow, and so I don't recommend doing a harvest. We do have a couple floating up loose here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. We had 10 floating on the top. So I'm going to ask myself, okay, now I need to clean up this area. So figure out how to do that. There's another one right in there. So it might actually be worth it to get rid of some of these blocks. A great way to test this is to put torches in place of the crystal buds. After a harvest, go around and pop torches on those, and then you can keep firing the system off and making certain and seeing where all of your torches end up. But with this setup right here, we've only got 5 pistons going and about a stack of slime blocks, as opposed to get the same results, we would need almost 64 pistons. It's just another way of doing things. The longer you play with it, the more you can get out of it. What I love most about this farm is it is a puzzle. It's so much fun. You can just tinker with it and fine tune it until you can seem to get every single drop that you want. Or if you get lucky and find a good geode, you can just pop in 4 pistons with 48 slime blocks and come down every 2 Minecraft days and hit the button and you're good to go. I'm Arystotle, and I thank you for watching. See ya!